Well, how is everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Can anybody else hear me besides Matt?
Doing good.
Can you guys hear me?
Sure.
Yeah, we're good.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Hello? Anybody there?
Okay, so you can't hear us.
You can't hear us. We're all talking.
Mhm.
Hello? Is anybody there? Can you hear me
We're
now?
on. We can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. I wasn't getting an answer. I didn't know if my...
No, you were getting interaction. You just weren't hearing it.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Something was wrong there. I didn't see anybody responding or lips moving, so I didn't
Oh,
think anybody was able to hear me.
So the eyebrows and the lips weren't moving today.
Your bats were just sitting still and hanging there, sister. They weren't going anywhere. So I emailed everybody about 6:30 today, because that's when I got it done. Questions to go along with these sections just to kind of help the group interact a little bit more. So uh, I'm just going to start off with asking some of these questions, and you guys pop in, however, um, with whatever you need. Okay. We started out, I think I put that we left off on point 14. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So um, I'm just going to start asking these questions that I wrote for 14 that I asked myself and go from there. The first question was, how does seeing people created as in the image of God shift the way we see humanity as a whole? This is on point 14 that's titled People Are Valuable. And that is page 28 if you're looking in your book. For me, I just put that it always helps me um, assure that I'm visualizing them first as a creation of the Father. That helps me see them as possibly um, well, just honoring and respecting and knowing that they're growing and they're still being created. I think that that's some of the issue that happens with our culture is that we see people as done or um, at a certain place that they should be based on different things. But when I look at somebody as Christ's creation, God's creation, I know they're still being made and they're in creative process just like I am. He's still finishing them. So if I'm irritated with them, I'm just in an unfinished, unredeemed area of their character that he's processing through, and I can help them process through with that area that needs to be redeemed if they're willing, right? So I look at them as an opportunity to advance the kingdom and to fulfill God's plan and purpose for their life. And in doing so, I always know that immediately when I'm helping somebody fulfill their destiny, it immediately helps mine, even if it's not even related. It increases and moves mine too exponentially. Most of the time, why your destiny is not moving is because you're not moving in other people's destinies and you're not in the creative atmosphere of destiny developers or builders. So you have to become that and then build that part of that in your gatherings that you have with your family and with your friends and with whoever you gather with. So again, how does seeing people as created in the image of God shift the way we view humanity as a whole?
But one thing it does, it causes us not to be judgmental because we're viewing them in a different light, not by um, our opinion of what we think of them, because um, a person people can pass by you all day and you can assign a word or a thought to all of. Are you okay?
Yeah, just yawned.
You yawned. Okay. So anyway, and you can assign a thought or something to each one of them, And but when we think of them in God's image, and it might not be, it might, and it could be positive, but it could be negative also, depending on what we're thinking. And we're probably uh, just assessing them, you know.
Hmm.
And so because I've been dealing with judgmentalism and didn't know that I was doing that. And so my thing to erase this is just to say, instead of making a judgment about a person, like what they look like, not saying negative, but assessing, doing an oral assessment, a
Hmm.
mental assessment on them, and basically just saying, and like I said, now I was really talking to myself, talking about myself. And I just said, they're made in the image of God. That stops everything,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
he's love and he's good, and so I have to start from a different perspective. I can't assign anything else to them, you know. Unless they've come to me in a different, you know, in a way that is supposed to basically, and this is still me talking, I feel, and unless they're coming to me in a way that I feel is like maybe, maybe they're throwing some shade at me, and I feel like I need to correct that. Am I not forgiving them? No, it's not that I'm not forgiving them, but I'm still setting up boundaries, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There are a lot of boundaries in the kingdom. We have to learn those and we have to form them for ourselves.
Mhm.
So the next question, um, in what ways have you personally experienced or witnessed the glory and majesty of God reflected in others?
Oh, wow.
I think, you know, I I think I stay astute, like I stay in tune with this. I'm always looking for his glory and his majesty to come from the most unexpected places and people. So I get real tickled when I see glory and majesty, one manifesting through creation, and then also through people. So I love that the storm started last night just when we finished talking about Kishlev. Um, Rainstorms and the Father and I have a kind of special thing. But that was glory and majesty and creation, that the thunder and all of it started and the rain started right as we finished here. And then um, I think I watch my husband and I see a lot of glory and majesty in his behavior and mannerisms and how he handles himself. So I think most of all, those are well, things that I see all the time. Creation, I'm always paying attention to the sky and the weather and what's going on with around me, the atmosphere around me. And then of course I see my husband more than I see most people. So those are the two witnessed and experienced glory. And then we've done the healing thing. So, I've been able to experience that, the presence of the anointing that people carry. It's beautiful when you can feel that. And when you're ministering to one another and talking about it, you can feel the glory of God moving between you. You can feel that even when you just hug somebody, that the majesty of God is becoming more and more um, present tense. It's rising up, like you feel it arising and increasing around you. So that's my experience. So I'm going to ask that question again. In what ways have you personally experienced or witnessed the glory and majesty of God reflected in others? And I'm going to let you other two ladies pop in on that one since me and Zellen hit the first one.
Children. Every time you see a child And a friend of mine just had a baby. My friend, her daughter just had a baby. And just watching the parents and this newborn, and then the baby itself, it's just beautiful.
Hmm.
And they're just there. They're not
Yeah.
doing anything what one would see as amazing. They're
Hmm.
just connecting with their child and just seeing God in all of it.
Right. That's good. That's good. I remember when I was working in OB and delivering babies, there would be some, man, you would catch their eye and it would be straight from heaven. Like they held such holy presence from the get-go. And some of them were not necessarily born to Christian parents. So it was really, really interesting seeing that. And it was just like last night, like yesterday, we had a gathering, and it's Thanksgiving, so you have all these pre-Thanksgiving Thanksgivings, and we had a pre-Thanksgiving Thanksgiving gathering to go to, and um, I walked into the kitchen, and another person was there. And she turned around, and when she looked at me and I looked at her, we both knew who we were. I knew she was a full-fledged witch, and she knew I was a full-fledged priest of the king. And we just automatically looked at each other, and both of us just kind of gave each other a grin and shrugged our shoulders, and off we went. And we ended up connecting over Kishlev because people were asking me about Kishlev, and she got super in tune with that. And before long, she was drawn into it. And I said, if you ever want to attend one of my teachings, come on, just holler at me, and I'll let you come on, and we'll see what you have to offer that's different from what I have. I'm sure you've got some great things that you've learned along the way. So again, understanding that. It's just amazing to me that you'll have other Christians who don't pick up on who you are, but you'll have a full-fledged witch or warlock, and all you have to do is walk into the room and you both know who each other is immediately. So I think that that's interesting that we do that. Um, those who are connected in the spiritual realm, but then you have other people who just don't have a clue who you are. Again, everybody's created in God's image. Do I not want to be around her because she's a witch? No. No, not unless she starts getting on my nerves, and then I'll put her in her place. But I don't mind being around her because there's a lot of witchy things still that I deal with. I deal with a lot of manipulation and, doing things I shouldn't be doing. Witchcraft is just rebellion against the full covenant of God. So she's just doesn't have her plumb line balanced is all. She got a little lopsided. So being around somebody like me who is not fearful of her. I have nothing to fear of her. We just found our way two separate ways, but I could influence her. So she knows that. And so will she come or will she not? We'll see. But I'm in that office twice a week, so she may ask me for a card for a friend. Could I have one of your cards for a friend? So again, how about you, Miss Peggy? Have you witnessed what kind of glory and majesty have you witnessed through others recently, personally experienced?
I think probably the biggest thing is at work with the students. There's just been a lot of um, like revival type things, just the glory of God breaking out in the chapel services. And then when you see them out, walking around, in your business during the day and dealing with them and stuff, it's just all the more beautiful because you see them then you get to see them on a daily basis and kind of interact with them and just, you know, find out, where they come from, what have they been up to and things like that. And you just see really, and a lot of them are just so grateful to just talk with you and you get your help and things like that too. And you just learn a lot, about each other and just experience that glory together there. It's just beautiful.
I think that's good. I think that's beautiful. Anything else you guys want to add on point 14? I'm not going to ask every one of these questions, but it's good for you guys to have all of them in case you want to go back through. Um, Anything you want to mention about point 14 before we move on to 15?
I just want to say that I agree with Zelen. Um, in reading this from I'm seeing how um, taught theology has crept in. Like she said, you're judgmental about people and you don't even know it. And when you start looking, I start assessing myself, like, where did that come from? And it came from, teaching when I was a child, in regard to how to view people, between the saints and the ain'ts, and, and instead of looking that we're all God's creation, we're all God made in his image.
Mm-hmm.
And not assessing and putting a value on everybody. And so it wasn't so much that I think of each person, or that I'm judging them. It's more that I'm not viewing them as an image bearer of God. I'm not viewing them correctly. And so then when you're not even aware, because you're not really thinking about it, thoughts can come in. And sometimes you just don't answer it when you should, because I loved what Zelen said, that is God's creation, and that stops everything.
Yep. 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 We all have boogers. That's what
Yeah. Yeah.
we all have boogers, and I can't judge you based on your boogers.
And it can be just a simple thing that I'll see somebody and just say that they're cute, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not a negative thing, you know, all the time.
Right.
And
Right.
the thing is that, like Luana says, I'm not seeing them as an image bearer, but I wasn't seeing them as a creation of God either.
Right.
Right.
You
Correct.
know, and that it was his glory that I was seeing either. I was just seeing it as a personal attribute to the person.
Yeah. And I
You
know we're talking about people, like what we're talking about people specifically in this section, but I want to go back to what you just said here.
know?
I often don't see other things, not just people, as creations of God.
Mhm.
Animals, birds, bees, trees, the sun, the moon, all of those things. When I forget that they are created, they are part of creation, then I miss out on the honor that they deserve, the respect they deserve, the partnership and relationship that the Lord put them and made them for. Like I am denying what He gave me, basically,
Exactly.
and
Mhm.
understanding the purpose of it. So everything is created, and everything will it harmonizes and pull things out, and is just beautiful when we see things as creations of God.
Yes,
And so,
unless I'm looking at nature itself, then I'll do that, you know. But because it's like you read about it, you know it, and it's not there, not in your forefront anymore, or not.
Yeah,
It's not in mine. It hasn't been in mine, and I've had to reignite it.
right. And those
Yeah.
are areas that have to be relit. We have to
Mhm.
tend the flames, right?
Mhm.
yeah, mine was never lit from the beginning.
So yours had
I
to be
think mine
birthed.
was.
You birthed it.
I had to be birthed.
Birth.
And it's interesting, especially in regard to um, the land and God's creation, other than people, that was birthed first. And
Mhm.
so I look at creation because, as y'all know, I wasn't an outdoor girl. And so I
Mhm.
just didn't really view or even give outdoors or nature or God's creation. Every now and again, I would catch a glimpse from the inside as I'm looking out and
Mhm.
thinking, boy, it's just beautiful and things. And it's like I liked it, but only in certain conditions. And I thought, since doing this study, that's not right. that's not right.
And
And
I
so
think you're
it
missing
has
out a lot of your inheritance. I think that that's what's,
right. And so this
yeah,
journey that God has had me on, it's just been beautiful. And so I enjoy outdoors, out in it. I enjoy now because I view it through a different lens.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I just didn't really think of people that way because of I was actually taught on that and didn't realize the depth. You don't you're listening to somebody and you don't realize it's going in and seeds have been planted, you
yeah,
know. Um and so but with nature, I just kind of looked at it as a personal choice.
yeah,
And it's not. And so um
yeah.
it's this whole study has just been very um eye-opening isn't the right word. It just feels like I've, just like you said, I've been, things have been birthed in me
You're
that
blooming. You had a
I'm
little bud and
blooming.
now it's bloomed and opened
Yeah,
up.
right. So
You
it's great.
know, me thinking about this, like what you were just saying, that, that you're viewing it from a different lens. To me, it just, one of the things it seemed is that it just takes away a lot of emotion stuff. I mean, just, when you see different things, or, sometimes you just get busy and you just get flipping around with emotion stuff, I mean, and I just think, this truth is just so calming.
Yes. Settles you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grounds you, gives you a foundation. You're not all wonky because you don't have something stable to stand on.
Yes.
Yeah. So on point 15, what do people deserve? And the discussion questions, let's start with this one. What is the impact of doctrines that teach all people deserve eternal conscious torment? Well, I guess if you think somebody deserves to burn in hell forever.
I think you begin tormenting them here on earth.
Excuse me.
I said, I think you begin unconsciously tormenting them here on earth.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Then also you get very judgmental. That's where a lot of the
Mhm.
judgment comes in as you view somebody and you're immediately putting them, oh, you're going there, or you're judging
Yeah.
them like you don't fit, um,
I'm,
and
mm,
not realizing.
I think we all heard recently a testimony. I'm gonna tap this in. We're not gonna say the person's name, but there was somebody talking about. I, I thought about this because we were reading this as the person testified about this, but really it was about homeless people, right? And they said that they saw somebody and they took him inside to talk them into coming inside and buying them something because they don't like to give money because they're afraid they'll use it for drugs or booze. So they were taking him inside to buy him a meal and was talking with the person, and the person, wanted to know, you just, asking, how come, do you want a job? I can probably get you a job. You look healthy, able to work. And the person said, why would I work? Everybody gives me everything I need.
Wow.
And so that was when he said that, that impacted them. He talked about it impacting him. Um, and in that's the last testimony he has of helping, I would assume, because he doesn't have a testimony on top of that where he helped another one and it was a more beautiful story and they got a job, right? So, did that, if there's a doctrine over top of you that teaches you that people deserve what they get and if they don't work, they don't eat, because that's what the word says, right? But when you have an experience, an encounter like that, because remember, encounters trump knowledge, right? We have to
Mhm.
be very careful what encounters do to our consciousness. But now when I have an experience like that, am I never going to help another person ever because I think they're all like that person was? Or did that spur me on to help more, right? Because now they're just seeing this as this is his job. This is a job. That's what they do. They panhandle, right? And they make killer bucks doing that. So, do I not help anybody? So where is the impact of these doctrines that teach that people deserve, eternal torment? Because eternal means now, right? So when I look at somebody who's a crackhead or whatever, you just know that they're a hot mess. Do I believe they deserve that conscious torment now? Do I look less of them because of that? So that's kind of what I wanted to hit with what do people deserve? Because this is something that really hit me. And I had to say I was guilty, guilty, guilty. And I had to take it before the Father.
Well, I had an experience like that man with a homeless person, but mine was a little bit different. I would pass by this man all the time, and he would be dressed in a suit, and then and I for some I guess I just knew he was homeless. I guess because I saw him every day just walking. But anyway, one day I gave him a $20 bill, and this was years ago. It did, and then the next time I saw the man, he was drunk, couldn't even walk, and so I never gave anybody anything else, and that did for my opinion, or stop me from doing anything, in a negative, and it was a negative way. But so I therefore, I guess I judged everybody, and I wasn't, um, or if they weren't trying to like do something different, but well, but let me take it back because I can't say that I didn't help anyone, but I would try, but it wasn't like all the time. And so now I do it I have guidelines,
Right. But the
you know.
thing is, where did we get that at? Where did you set up that boundaries for you at? Are they scriptural boundaries, or did you just work this out with
I think, I don't know. I think I eventually, and now some of it's got to be that if you don't work, you don't eat. But I know there are certain circumstances to that also, and though I don't believe that every crackhead is, I believe there are because you get high, there are consequences, and so if you're going to get high, you're going to get the consequences, and you've earned them. You have actually. It's a oh, I don't know. Okay. um I'm forgetting the two words. Not a trial and effect, but a cause and effect.
yeah.
It's a cause and effect, that's going to happen, um and so if that's done purposely, I guess I do believe that. But I don't believe in the total depravity that they're saying that, um not Constantine, but that he says or attributes, not Augustine, but that he attributes to it, because um I believe that people do have a choice. They can seek God, and if they don't it right now, that at some point they could, you know, um, not to the degree that he says.
Can you pass
Because
them by on the road? Like, can you
uh,
can you pass them by, or can you be the Good Samaritan? That's the question. Has the
yeah, yeah,
encounter has the encounter that I went through formed a stronghold in me, not helping anybody from that point on? You know
no,
what I'm saying? That you would never enter into that again, because we have to get daily manna from it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. What is he telling me to do today? Am I asking him,
mhm,
do I need to stop and give them something? When I was
right,
working all the time in home health, I would be always at these
mhm,
inner, cross sections where the panhandlers are at and the
mhm,
homeless people are at. And one of my friends has a ministry where she makes up backpacks with stuff
mhm,
in them, socks,
mhm,
deodorant, soap, stuff like
right,
that. And so I would just get a bunch of her backpacks and I'd roll down my window and I'd hand them one of those backpacks.
Mhm.
And it
Good.
had, crackers and, something to eat and
Yeah.
water and soap and things that you would need as a homeless person. So I kept those in my car and just gave them out as able, but I don't see her very often and I'm not on the road anymore as much. So I don't, not doing that. But it does bother me that every Sunday when I go to church, I'm passing people not a
Mhm.
block away from my church
Mhm.
begging and saying they're hungry and homeless.
Mhm.
So that does bother me. And I
Mhm.
know every one of us pass them
Mhm.
going to and from that church. There's no way to get to the church without not passing them. So I wonder how many of us have hardened hearts because of like experiences, how we treat people what they deserve, right? And how somebody is going to treat me is probably based from this conversation on other encounters they've had with other people in a like situation that may have not
Sure.
presented themselves so well. And therefore, when I need the help, nobody's going to be there to give it to me
That's
because the
true.
enemy has made sure anybody that would help has already been jaded, right?
Mhm. Mhm. That's true.
So I have to look at, was that a plant? Because God knows I love to help people.
Mhm.
And he knows I love to, minister to the homeless too. So I have to look at those situations. So again, are these doctrines that are being spoken over us impacting us and blocking us from being what the word says we're to be?
Sure they are, because that's why we don't do. But
Yeah.
you don't always have time to, the light turns, but you could turn around and help someone. But I don't, I can't say it formed something in me for a long time. And I started realizing that. And I was even thought about it the other day and I thought, well, Lord, who do I help? You know,
Yeah. I'm
who
going to
do
ask this question, Matt, to you because you weren't on earlier. So they've all had to answer questions. I'm going to ask you this one. In what ways might a person's theology of deserving affect how they treat others on earth?
I think I just answered that a minute ago.
Go ahead and say it again because apparently I wasn't paying attention.
You responded, but anyway,
Yeah, I don't remember already. Answer again.
good Lord. I just said that basically it would start mistreating people here on earth because they believe they deserved it anyway.
Okay, how might the Spirit be inviting you to adopt a theology rooted in dignity rather than condemnation?
Well, first, the closer that you get in your walk with the Lord, then you start treating everyone differently because you view them differently. Um, because your relationship with the Lord will cause it. I mean, when I look at in answering to, I I wouldn't give anything to a homeless person. I wouldn't give anything to a well person because of encounters that I've had with people along the way, to where the encounter just, I mean, hurt people.
Mhm.
And so I got hurt, therefore I hurt. And so I'm not thinking about, I look at when I look, I didn't think of them as torment or constantly that I just look at it as a series, everything is a series of choices always. And so if there's someone standing there with holding a sign on a corner, I realize that didn't happen overnight. That is a series of choices that a person made or circumstance And so as I got closer to the Lord, I would ask him, what do I do about this? Or do I do anything? And it has been very, very rare that I would give or do something for someone out that's on a corner that he's led me to do.
So dignity,
Huh?
dignity. So when you do not feel comfortable giving physical things, cash, food, whatever, to someone in need, what you can do is dignity because they clearly are in a condition that doesn't allow for a lot of that. One of the things that when you talk, I used to minister all the time to homeless people, and what they want most is for people to see them. They have been, most of them, most of the homeless people, and I'm talking thousands of homeless people, most of them were not forfeited. They were not given or even given the chance to make a choice about their lifestyle. Many of them come under circumstances, a lot of it's disability because you have to be not employed for over 2 years before you can apply for disability, basically. So a lot of these people were injured or have some kind of condition where they cannot work and they don't have anybody who would take care of them for 2 years. So they end up homeless because they can't pay rent. Um, and they can't, they don't have any way to keep a roof over their head because they can't work. And they just have to wait it out. So a lot of people were humping it for 2 years and then a little bit longer after the disability gets approved to be able to get an apartment, get off the streets. And a lot of them were not raised right. Like they clearly cannot handle normal everyday situations. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how not to spend. They just don't know because they weren't raised. They were not brought up with any kind of anything. Um, but by the grace of God go I, because it was luckily I had a very small school and people in the community took care of me, where I would have probably been the wreck that the rest of the people that I saw homeless were. So I knew it was by the grace of God, or it could have been me and had been me. When I got divorced and I had been attacked by a pit bull, and my leg was hurt, I wasn't able to work. And that's when my husband told me he wanted a divorce, and I had 4 kids. So, that I had, what was I going to do? I didn't have any family that would take me in. I didn't have any friends who could take me and my 4 kids in. And so, it was rough. It was rough. Um, so, looking at different conditions for me, because it's an encounter, I know because I've worked with them, and face to face, that the most important thing you can give them is dignity and help them with life skills. You have to walk with them. Okay. And that's how you get them off the streets. It's just like us. How do we get ourselves out of the mess that poor doctrine and poor theology has gotten us into? It's the same thing. I have to have someone to show me the truth and help me walk through it and give me understanding. So, what does it mean for me personally that God blessed humanity at creation? It means a lot to me. It means a lot that out of all the things that he created, he looked at us and said, "That's good. That's good." I mean, he said that about a lot of things, but we were blessed. We were the ones God blessed. He spoke a blessing over us. And so, if that's what God did at creation, was speak a blessing over humanity, then I kind of have to mirror that. And every time I encounter something, I have to bless it. Any part of creation, bless it. So, what does it mean for you guys personally that God blessed humanity at creation?
I didn't look at that part of it as a blessing. And but when I look, because when I said and he blessed them, I okay then I had to go back and read and said, so what I looked at, and you know, help me if I'm wrong, because after I was looking for the blessing to follow after that word, but I looked back at it, looked back through the scriptures, and I thought, for me, it was like when he spoke all the everything that he did over everything, that was the blessing. And when he said, and he blessed them, it seemed like that was the conclusion of it. And when he said, basically to multiply, that was a declaration that he was speaking over them to, like he said, he did. Robert wasn't. I'm not Robert, but Harold wasn't saying that basically to. It wasn't a commissioning, which I had already thought that's what that always was, you know. But then I basically took it as a declaration. Okay, now that I've blessed you, go ahead and do these things. But that would see that messed me up, and I think it still is because it seems like a commissioning.
Well, that's because we've been work oriented. We thought God made us to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, to do.
Hmm.
And that's another poor theology situation that we've all been raised under. So he didn't make us to do, he made us to have relationship with the earth and take care of it, relationship with every creature and every creation, and that we were to understand that he had put us in authority over it. It wasn't a work ethic, it was a relationship um, standard. So, kind of was a commissioning, but it wasn't to go work. It was to go have relationship and understanding and partnership, and at least that's how I see it.
But he spoke over everything.
Mhm.
Okay, I see what you're
So
saying.
personally, like the question was personally, what does it mean to you that God blessed humanity? Do you grasp that he blessed you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So
I
that's a
didn't.
big thing.
Hmm.
Personally, you need to understand that he blessed humanity.
Hmm.
It wasn't just them.
Hmm. And I'm wondering how many other people understood that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I didn't.
Do we
No.
understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go back to creation and look at these things, grasp personally, he
Hmm.
blessed you.
Hmm.
Okay. You're blessed. So, you've been blessed by the Father, the Creator. Okay. You can't get more blessed than that, more recognized than that. So when you understand that, then it takes away a lot of, I wish they saw me for who I am,
Hmm.
because you've been seen by the Father. So, again, another question I asked was, how might recognizing this original blessing change the way you step into purpose?
Oh, it changes it dramatically. I mean, in reading this, eh, it goes back to if your theology, like I looked and thought, oh my gosh, I am not valuing people, and people are a creation of God. We
Mhm.
all are. So then it was like by the time we get to point 16, because I'm dealing with, point 14, 13, and there, I realize I'm not looking at this right. So then when the blessing came, when I hit point 16, I was like, I mean, I could feel the presence of God in the room because it's like, yes,
Mhm. Yeah, I feel it
yes,
right now.
yes. It's
Mhm.
just because we're blessed. And
Yeah,
it's like everything now takes on a new meaning. Everything does in regard all of creation, like the blinders have come off. It's like, oh, praise God.
right,
It's just, yeah. So, personally, did I? No. But I realized that back at point 13, 14, up there, there's like, oh my gosh,
right.
I'm looking at people totally wrong.
Same.
This is all
Yeah.
wrong.
One of the
And
other
so now,
questions. Yeah, go ahead.
so now it's just different.
Yeah. The other question that goes along right with this is how does understanding the Hebrew nuance of way barek, which is the creative blessing, reshape the way we interpret Genesis 1:28? Because we have to understand it was a creative blessing. It was to create. That's the blessing we received, to co-create.
To me, it just kind of gave a fresh view at stuff, just in a daily thinking about things,
Mhm.
that not to get, stuck in an old way, just thinking,
Mhm.
creatively and fresh and,
Yes.
every day.
And asking him to, have you gone before the Lord to ask for a blessing for something? Like, Lord, would you bless me? I'm getting ready to go forth in your name, and I'm going to this healing class on Saturday or on Monday night. Would you bless me with your creative presence? Would you help me learn how to co-create with you? That's the blessing you gave me. I need to learn to walk in it. So create some things, and let's start here with whatever you're doing, right? That anytime you're going to create, you've already been blessed to do that. And opening up that as you step into your purpose, taking the time to get in his presence, just like you did when you read that. What do you mean he blessed me? What do you mean I'm blessed? What do you mean God blessed me? Like that one in and of itself, you have to realize how odd that is for all of us not to understand that the Father has blessed us, right?
Yeah,
Like that's a bit concerning,
yeah,
right? That we don't know that he has blessed us.
yeah, definitely.
So, you know, that these questions were important for me to answer for myself because I knew I was missing something and he gave it back to me. So, recognizing this original blessing changes how we step into everything we do. Everything, I think. And I know that it affects how I think about myself personally, right?
Yeah, I think it's really transformative because I think it's
Mhm.
just doing something in all of us right now.
Yeah,
Not
Right.
just that song that's saying, we're blessed, we're blessed, we're blessed, we are blessed.
Hmm.
Because when we sang it, we didn't believe it.
Well, we didn't
It
even know what it
was,
meant,
yeah,
yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
It
We
was just
didn't know
something,
we had been.
it was something that we puppeted.
Right. Right. It's something we're supposed to be walking in, but we're really not, but we're going to say we are.
That we're
I'm
so
blessed and
ignorant of.
highly favored, and you're saying that because you're
That's
not.
what's flying around the room right now,
Yeah.
like them eyebrows and them lips.
Yeah, we paint those on too. Hey, Lacey, welcome, welcome. So, point 17, the progress is a gift from God, right? So, what evidence do you see in the world that humanity is advancing because of God's original blessing? This is so good. I love this question.
okay, say it again.
What evidence do you see in the world that humanity is advancing because of God's original design?
Just look
I'd
at
have a
technology.
Yeah,
I'd have a
right.
harder time finding something that didn't point to it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Think of all the advances that we've had in our lifetime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
what
Well,
generation has seen the amount of advances in everything? Although
just
it's really, I don't know if all of them are advances, but
Sunday morning, you'll go sit in a chair in a church, not in the tent of meeting. I mean,
Yeah,
I just look at, I guess, because I see it so much at home, but technology, as soon
mhm.
as you buy it, it's outdated.
yes,
And
yes.
so it's like, wow, when from going from point 16 to 17 about subdue and that what subdue means. And you see it everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. How does progress differentiate humans from animals according to the text?
According to the text, animals don't really progress.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Hear that, Mercy?
I love
I'm
the
sure
fact
I
that
want
in
to
the
talk and
Bible,
say something to you right now.
You're as dumb as yesterday.
Hold on, y'all are talking all over each other
Yeah,
now.
we are.
Hold on, hold on, hold
I
on.
would just love, I just said I would just love for her to say something back.
She does talk back to him. She does
Uh-huh.
Oh
growl
yeah.
and give him
Mhm.
a hard time. What breakthroughs in your own life or sphere carry the fingerprints of divine timing? I love this question too.
Okay, say it again. Sorry.
What breakthroughs in your life or sphere carry the fingerprints of divine timing? Oh, come on. You guys have all kinds of divine timing going on in your
I know,
life.
but
We
I've
walk
been,
through it every morning.
I know, but I'm waiting for somebody else to speak up first. I know.
Okay. Okay.
I was just thinking that, okay, wait a minute. What did Lacey say?
She said each one of her children's births.
Oh, yeah, that, but I mean, even every time we get insight, every
Yeah.
time revelation from the Lord, you walk away in prayer, you had an answer to prayer where you ask God a question, and then all of a sudden, someone else who knew nothing about your question, they answer it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
happens all the time.
It does. And
I
you have to think of the fact too where we are in our life and in positions that He's placed us in, and our destinies that we're walking out.
divine timing.
And you know what? Just the fact that you woke up and you drew breath this morning.
Right.
Yes.
That's good, Lacey, that just even randomly running into people at the store or the gym to encourage her.
That would require us going to the gym.
We need someone to encourage us to do that.
Or how about the lips that Zelen has?
They are moving now. They were on top of your blanket a minute ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, y'all. I didn't even see that. Okay.
Yeah. So
Everybody sees it but me. I guess because
you can't see it.
I'm
Yeah,
not looking at myself.
right, right.
Mhm.
So, what breakthrough in your life or sphere carry the fingerprints of divine timing? Breakthrough in your life, breakthroughs in your life or sphere that carry the fingerprints of divine timing. There's all kinds of things that I can think of for that. I think of, oh golly, um, well, probably the time when Matt was upset that he didn't get the amount of raise that well, basically he was not given a $12,000 a year raise that everybody else was given. And the Lord gave me a different job that gave me that increase in that amount of money. So it's not like he ever lost it. It was given to us. It just came through another route. And then again, divine timing, praying through I've been focused on being better with my words with my employer and with his, and speaking declarations as I drive to work. I speak certain declarations, and um, they just got a huge contract, bigger than they've had before, longer than they've had before. They've never signed a 5-year contract. So that just happened yesterday. So divine timing, as you stay in purpose with what the Lord's bringing you, going through these gates, going through the 12 gates of perception, moving and healing, I'm not focused basically on his business or career, but I'm just being faithful in what I'm doing. And I do say the little things that I do say, but because it's divine timing, right? You're working in divine timing, and you understand the Issachar anointing and what to pray, when to pray, and how to move, you see the fingerprints of him on everything, everything, literally everything. So, point 18, God's blessing is more powerful than sin. What impact does it have it on your worldview to believe that God's blessing outweighs the power of sin? Again, what impact does it have on your worldview to believe that God's blessing outweighs the power of sin?
Everyone can be fruitful, multiply, um, and subdue. The blessing that God gave is on everyone.
Right. Which is how you bring dignity back to the homeless people.
Mm.
Because God's power always trumps that. Same thing with the druggies. We would just lay hands on them and all the drugs would just pour out of them, right? Then you got to find a rehab that's going to take them real quick because they're going to be in trouble. But we have Lacey says we make our focus less on our faults and failures. Absolutely. You're not sin conscious for yourself or for anybody else. The blood's already taken care of that. That's all. I just look at that. Blood's already got that. I don't have to worry. I don't have to fix this. God's going to work it all out
Mhm.
because his blessings outweigh the power of sin.
Mhm.
Yeah, it fills you with hope. It fills you with,
Yeah.
yeah, encouragement. And yeah,
And it takes away the shame and the guilt factor that the enemy is always trying to, unleash on us.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Now we
God's
look at this.
blessing outweighs the sin. Yeah, I did it. I'm not going to deny that I did it. I'm not going to argue with the accuser of the brethren. I treated my husband like crap and I told him off. Good thing that God's blessing outweighs the sin, baby. Let's forget it. Let's just forget I was a butthole. I am about 76 times a day. That was 75. We only got one more. Hold on. God's blessing's about to overtake me.
There's a lot that happens between the 70 and the 470.
So how does, anybody else want to comment on that?
I just want to say it reminds us of his goodness.
Hmm.
It's his goodness.
Yes. And that love never fails.
Mhm.
Just go
Yes,
back to love.
Mhm.
When in doubt, start loving.
yes.
How does this perspective challenge fear-based or doom-focused Christian narratives? For me, I don't, what are you doing over there? Um, for me, the doom-focused and the faith-based, fear-based Christian perspective, that's one of our biggest challenges right now is getting people to let go of the fear. It's been in their bloodlines for generations. They've been end timers for since the beginning of time. They started out as end timers before time even began. So, helping them understand that God's blessing is much more powerful than anything the enemy or anybody else could ever throw at me. God's blessing is more powerful than that. His presence is more powerful than anything anybody else can even think of forming. So, we have to use this truth to encourage us. And that when we're facing problems that seem impossible, I go back to that. I was blessed to create. I was blessed to create. We got lack. Okay, let's create. God blessed us to create. So let's create. That's kind of how I look at it also.
Mm.
But also, just like what you were saying earlier in regard to the woman that you met that was a witch.
Hmm.
You don't look at her in judgment. You don't look at her
Yeah.
in fear. You don't look at her. And she has something to offer.
Yeah. And I
So
was looking to see what food she brought.
Was that because you were you going to or not going to eat it?
At first, I wasn't going to, but then I challenged myself and I did. I can't allow fear to make decisions for me. It's not, I would be dead if I let fear make any decision for me. So I have to, when I have a hitch about something, I go towards it. I don't pull away because I've learned that if I allow fear to get even a foothold in my life, I am done with a big D. So fear is not allowed to be present. So if I get scared of something and I think I probably shouldn't do that, I'm going to say, God, we and you, we going in there, and we're doing that because I've got to make sure that the presence of the Father always overtakes my hindrance of anything that I would have fear about.
Sure.
My decision cannot, now I could just say, I'm not fearful, but I'm not stupid either, and I'm just not going to eat that. But it wasn't knowledge, it wasn't wisdom that brought me to that. I just, as soon as I saw her, because she was already in the kitchen and she was turning to come, she was getting ready to turn away from the table. And as soon as I saw her there, I was like, oh man, I got to figure out what she got because I sure she probably put a curse on that food. So, that's, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's judgment. I'm sorry, Lord. And so I particularly focused on talking to her in the room, when we were all at a great big table, and I particularly focused on trying to engage with her, and it worked. She did get it, and she just kept on talking and talking. And who I got the judgment from in the room was because they asked me to pray, and I prayed, and then they started talking about the what are we going to do for Christmas? What's our Christmas gathering? So I was saying, well, I don't really know a lot, but I do know these places are nice. These places have big rooms. And you're talking about a Tuesday, that's date night. So I can tell you where all the cheap specials are on Tuesday night to save you a buck because we were talking about all going out to a restaurant. And the person that judged me was someone who I have great respect for. But what bothered him was I started talking about they have drink specials. And he said, yeah, I guess you and your husband go out on Tuesday night so you can go to Wednesday and pray about your drinking you did on Tuesday is what he said in front of everybody. And I just looked at him and smiled. I didn't even respond. I just looked at him and smiled. And I said, oh, I see you sitting over there, you religious demon. So I had a witch and a demon all on the same side of the same table. But the person who would I've never thought would have attacked me like that, I would have expected it from the witch, but it came from the guy who I respect, so we have to understand, and it probably got at him because I was bonding with her, and he probably didn't like that. I don't know what it all was, but I started noticing him getting real weird and his movements getting real weird before the conversation about the Christmas thing ever came up. So you just have to watch how people react in the room and just love everybody. But now I know he has a religious spirit, and now he's going to have a hitch against me because he knows I'll take a drink. Imagine that.
Probably a good thing I got tied up yesterday.
Yeah, probably Matt was going to come, so he probably wouldn't have. He would have said something if that fella had said
I'd
that in
have
front.
dotted his eyes.
You'd have dotted his eyes.
Yep.
Well, I
So
know that Tuesday was date nights, and we have our prayer and our prayer meeting and our Bible study on Tuesday. So look
yeah,
who we're dating. Look
yeah,
who
there you do.
There you go.
Dylan's like, well, Mama, I got a date too, Connie.
I'm going to bring it up too.
I'm just figuring if I got to go repent on Wednesday, I may as well have some more to do.
Yeah. Ah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that takes us to the point 19 was God blessing is added to human nature. So, what shifts when you see everyone, including sinners, as carrying divine blessing for dominion and advancement? I can be more like Christ. I was able to love the witch I'm able to do that, which was a challenge for me because God told me not too long ago, curse every witch that comes against you, dead, dead, dead. So, um, you know, but you have to look at the new manna. And I had to sit there with him for a minute in that kitchen and say, okay, Father, the last direction you gave me about witches was if I came up against them, let them know, give them a chance, and then curse them dead. And is this what you're wanting me to do in this situation? And he said, no, have fun. That's what he said. Have fun. And I didn't know if he meant have fun killing her. But I just knew I'm not going to do this here at this party, right? So, I just had fun and having fun with her, right? And that's the fun about who we are. We're free. And I got
Yes,
along and had more fun with the witch at that party than I did the rest of them. I had a good time and we got a connection going and we bonded. And you never know what's going to happen from that. And that ticked off the other dude at the other end of the table who wanted my attention and didn't know why I was giving it to the witch, right? So he got catty. You know, we have to look at God's blessing on human nature, and everybody has dominion, has the blessing for dominion and advancement. Every human. I just got to activate that in them for the right kind of dominion and advancement. Think what would happen, ladies and gentlemen, if we would get rid of all this fear and everybody would walk a little bit more like I did the other day, and we could become friends and share where we're at and where they're at and bring it together and let Lord do something with it. I think that that would be an amazing advancement for the kingdom of God.
yeah, because they would be transformed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
But
he
God
doesn't want.
forbid we would lose a few,
Mhm.
God
Yes.
forbid we would lose a few. And so we're not going to ever communicate with them because I'm afraid someone's going to, if you're holy filled, if you're Holy Ghost filled and water baptized, I'm telling you right now, you can't. You can't. You would not be able to go to the dark side. You can't.
I was wondering what you were talking about at first, but no,
Yeah,
we can't.
you
This is like,
can't.
you can't
You
do it.
couldn't if you wanted to. Try.
Mm-mm,
I dare you.
mm-mm, no.
So
And who has, no one has that desire.
nobody does, and you wouldn't want to. Well, I did once, but it didn't work. So, this insight that we have, this insight, it needs to call us more into our God-given capacity to lead, to build, and to create. That's what happens when you see that we're all blessed with this. You're not waiting for some apostle to come and tap you on the shoulder and say, you're now knighted, go forth. You've already been blessed by the Father. You've been commissioned, appointed. Nothing else needs to happen. God has done all he possibly can. Jesus said it's finished. You're good to go. Go forth, and it's like we're still waiting for permission.
Mm. And we have to seek someone else's anointing on us for it to be,
Yes.
to come forth,
Yeah. And this is the thing is you need two or more witnesses. Anybody who reads the word already knows you're blessed to create and have dominion, to heal, to deliver, all of that stuff. You should have a bazillion witnesses. I should be able to look at you and say, yeah, I'm a witness of that. You are created. You've been blessed to create, to have dominion and authority and advance the kingdom of God. That's everybody. You don't need a special ceremony. And I got asked that with you guys have been on the call when Sharon has been on here, right? Or you've met her here when she's been here. So I
Yeah.
sent out a thing, invitations for Sharon. She's getting ready to move. And so I said, let's throw a party for you. Let's just I'll throw a party for you. We'll just let everybody come and say goodbye and bless you, and we'll send you forth. And so I sent a little thing out to her friends. She gave me some friends that she wanted to invite, and it was called commissioning, celebration and commissioning of Sharon Ray before she heads off, right? Well,
Mhm.
so people said, what's she being commissioned for?
Yeah.
What's why is she being, why are you commissioning her? And I said, well, commissionings are going forth. You lay hands on them, you baptize them full, immerse them in blessings and prophetic word and love, and tell them how much you love them, and celebrate their life, right? This is what you do when somebody goes and moves. And that was weird.
I
And I
don't
thought
think
that
any of us understood that because
right, because we don't we're American and we don't understand what the scripture says
uh-huh.
about where in the Bible did anybody go forth? Did they send them forth without anointing them and blessing them and pray? For days they prayed.
But the word commission was not there.
Well,
And it's,
it says go forth. That's what commission it does in Hebrew. It the word really means commissioning.
but what I'm saying, but I think well, it's our Western mindset.
Yeah, it's something that we invented. We invented something like commissioning, like it's a I
Well,
don't know.
like you're commissioned into an office. That's
Yeah,
what we look at that word,
right, right. But we
not as
commit,
a sending
yeah.
forth.
Sending forth means I'm going to send you forth to Walmart. If you're
You
going,
need commissioned.
I need hands laid on me and anointed before I go into Walmart. I need to be commissioned. I need y'all to lay hands on me. I don't go. I don't go. So, anyways, we need to get used to blessing each other and celebrate. It's weird for me that we don't at the more and more I spend time in the Word and I spend time in this mindset with the Father, it's very weird to me that everybody else doesn't want to celebrate somebody. I'm like, okay, why we got to argue about celebrating somebody? Why are you scared? What is this?
I thought it was a good thing, but I just
It
didn't
is
know.
a good thing, but I'm just saying people are fearful. The same thing when I brought up healing. Everybody had fear. Fear. It's everywhere. Like you just are petrified. Everybody's petrified of everything. You know, they want to know everything. Like they want your resume if you want to offer them a tissue. I'm just like, I think I've been blessed and capable to hand you a tissue without, and you interrogating me to see if I'm worthy to hand you a tissue. So, anyways,
You said it, Connie, and that the church is so fearful. And so because of that, it's more, what was it? I don't want you praying for me
mhm,
because you may pray wrong. Well, God
yep,
didn't even hear it when you pray amiss. Okay. I don't want to be around when people are being delivered from demons because I don't want something jumping on me. And it's like, wait a minute. Hold on. I mean, I've literally heard people say things sound
mhm,
like that. And it's like, are you serious?
Get
And
your
it's
demon vaccine.
yeah.
what'd you say, Matt?
He's he's gonna he's giving out demon vaccines at church. We're gonna make some money. We're gonna make some money. That is a good idea. I
You
will I
right.
will put you. I will have a line for that.
Yep, it's just saline.
Yeah.
And so, it's more like I don't want to be around that person because they're whatever they happen to see that
Turns them off.
um
Yeah.
it turns them off, may not be
Not
may
their
not
flavor, the
exactly line
flave.
up with the scripture. In other words, they see the speck in their eye. How they did it with that log hanging out, I'm not sure, but they
Hmm.
did. And then act accordingly. And it's really sad.
It
And that's
is.
the reason why everybody's asking you, so what's she being commissioned for?
Yeah.
Now there is a biblical perspective for this because I'm looking it up now and I'm thinking the one that seems like we're talking about is in John 20:21 that Yeshua tells his disciples, as the Father has sent me, I'm sending you. It's a sending off, or, indicating that they too are commissioned to carry out a mission, a particular mission, and it's like a mandate, and that's how we're so used to using that. And I think that's it, because I said I hadn't, I just got your message and I needed to RSVP to it. And she said she hadn't gotten it. I said, well, let me send it to you. I said, because it's really sweet, And I said, and you're being commissioned, I said, and so I said, I don't know what you're going to be commissioned for. I started to tell her, because I said, I said, we'll find out, But then she said, yeah, she said, I'm going to ask her. I meant to tell her, yeah, ask her, And so,
Everybody's going to tell her. I mean, everybody who comes should come being able to prophesy over top of her. But she's
but
moving back to be with her family. What's a better mandate and
yeah,
mission than that to go and
yeah.
fulfill, your legacy with your family? That's the biggest commissioning ever. When
Yeah.
I go pick up my kids from school, that's a commissioning.
Well, what I did tell her, what happens is that, on Shabbat night, that one
Yeah.
specific person will go around the table and speak a blessing over people, or what they
Mhm.
feel like the Lord has given them for that
Yeah.
person. I told
Yeah.
her that, but I
Mhm.
didn't connect it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
connect it.
And that's, just putting intentionality into, when, so how I learned about how this all got started with me with learning about blessing was
Hmm.
running with the bikers, because I didn't know anything. And the only person who ever went anywhere and did anything was me. So nobody ever had time I never knew I needed to sit down and wait for people to tell me go spread the gospel. I just always did it. And so when we started running with the bikers, when Matt and I got together and we started running with biker ministries, they would all stop and pray and bless each other before they went, and pray over the bikes and pray over what they were going to go do. That was really the first going forth kind of thing that I saw, besides stuff on TV or stuff at schools that you would see, prophetic schools and stuff like that. But that just started something with me and made an impression on me. And it bothered me that we would pray with the bikers, but when we were riding with ourselves, we didn't stop and do that. It was just like, well, wait a minute. If we're doing something corporately that we're not doing privately, what's the point in doing it corporately? It kind of seemed backwards to me, and where things die. If you do an outward expression of something first before you do the inward, it it's really hard to ever get it inward. Well, because you've defiled it. So, you have to get Shabbat in your lifestyle first. You have to birth it inside you, and then you can do it corporately. If you don't do that and it's just a corporate thing, it's just like church. There's no relationship in it, there's no intimacy in it. You're just going to another service. It's not meant to be another service. So, just like the commissioning, when people gather here, it's not like church, right? It's fellowship, and you bless each other and you pray over one another. Whatever you want to do here, whatever the Lord tells you to do, just bust it out. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a gathering of believers who can walk and impart and move and talk and speak and bless and do whatever they feel led to do with what God has pouring forth in and through them. And so, when we look at sending somebody forth, that's really what we're doing. We're just having a gathering. And, I would expect believers to know how to bless somebody and send them forth and tell them how much they've meant to them, while they have got to know them. I just think somebody needs to do that with everybody who moves away. I would want people to honor me before I moved and left, and I would think that everybody would want that, to know that you're loved. And if it doesn't work out,
Yes.
you come back. You got a place here. You always have a place here.
Yeah, it's good.
So, you know, that's the same thing we would do when somebody's decided not to be part of our group anymore, if they would give us a chance. So, same way when people are leaving your church to go somewhere else, you want to bless them and say, I really love what you're doing. Go forth. I hope God prospers you and you prosper the people wherever you go. And, home is always here if you want to come back. We're always here to love on you. So, anyways, that's all I got to say about blessings. It should be our nature. and it's not. We've got to correct that.
Yeah, that's good. That should be our nature.
Yeah. It says God's blessing is added to human nature. So if he added his blessing to human nature, it means we will bless also. You'll have the God-given capacity to lead, to build, and to create. So you have all those questions and more that I didn't ask tonight that were sent. Let me know how you like this forum, if it pulls out more. I think it has tonight. How do you guys feel? Better?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try, and you guys can do it too. It'd be good for somebody to take like point this and make some questions and point that and make some questions. So if
Mhm.
you ever want to take a point or whatever and make the questions and send them out to everybody, you already, Lacey, I don't know if I got you on here on that email, but I will send it to you. And you'll have the questions too. I will do that right now as we speak, make sure that I got everybody on here. Lacey, did I get it to you, Lacey? I might forward. Okay. I'll try to, if I do them, I'll try to get them earlier than 6:30 the same night, like I did tonight. But it takes a while for me to get the questions and all that stuff. So if you guys get some, throw them out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you next week if I don't see you sooner.
Oh, I
Yes.
won't be here next week.
Okay.
Since it's Thanksgiving and I have
Oh,
a
Thursday is
uh,
Thanksgiving, isn't it?
yeah, I have a house full of
Okay.
people.
We probably won't meet next Thursday since it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
going to Luana's.
We're yeah.
Come on.
We heard Luana's having
I
a
won't
spread.
notice you.
Oh no, that's because there's so many of us, Luana. We'll see you.
Yes, 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 yes. We just coming in like the rest of the riffraff. We got a
There you
to-go
go.
box. We're coming in for a to-go box and back out the back door.
Wait a minute, we're not riffraff, we're blessed.
What'd you say? You're black, Zelen?
No, I am. No, excuse me. I've got a different. I got some ethnicities as me, but I didn't say that. What I said was we're not coming as riffraff. We're blessed.
Oh, blessed.
And look at you.
We might be blessed, riffraff.
Don't mind them.
I just don't want to go. I just don't want to be riffraff. Okay.
Well,
I have to remember that I'm a queen.
no, I'm just gonna say I'm here to create. I'm here to create this plate and I'm going out the back door with it. I'm
See you later,
blessed. I'm
Andrea.
blessed to create. I'm creating me a to-go box. Bye ya.
Oh.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that you just take time, don't get busy, just really take some time with the Lord and think of all the blessings that you've had. And you guys are such a blessing to us. I really want to thank each one of you for taking your time to do these studies with us and to hang out with us as much as you do. We are highly, highly, highly appreciative and respect you guys very much. Book two, it's not very many people that I know that can hang that with that. So you've been you've just been one of those examples of glory and majesty to me, to keep on keeping on and loving the Lord like you do and growing and being real and raw about it. I love that we can say, I ain't there, but I'm getting there, and be okay with that. There's no shame or guilt in that. That's good. It means you're still
And
alive.
that's are included. That's are included. And lips.
Bats and lips. It flew way up here, your eyebrows. When you move back like that, your eyebrows were way
Oh,
up here.
so first I'm not. First I'm bats and lips, and then I'm black. Okay.
Sounded so much like we're not riffraff, we're black. I was like, well, is that what black people do? Take to-go boxes and just come and leave? Maybe, I don't know. Sounds
No.
good though.
I've never seen it.
You just crash a party and you sit there and you eat up everybody's food like locusts.
Oh,
Like locusts, you just come in and go across the table and nothing's left when you leave.
Right.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to do something ornery. I told you guys about this the other day, but there was this post on Facebook. It's my last thing. So you have fun. Okay. Sometimes you just need to do something ridiculously silly and fun just to
Right.
shock and awe people, right? There was this post on Facebook where they were taking slices of cheese and putting them on people's windshield underneath their wiper blades.
Oh
Just,
no.
just a slice of cheese.
No.
I
I would
gotta
not
do it.
be, I
I gotta go get some sliced cheese. What is that cheese that everybody eats
Oh,
that's
I'm
wrapped
putting
into
something over
plastic?
my car, my windshield. So no,
No,
no.
don't do
no, no,
that.
no, 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 no.
It's got the plastic over it. It's not gonna hurt anybody's windshield. It would be so funny. People come out, what is this? They would wonder for days and weeks of how that cheese get on their windshield and what it meant. Maybe Google it. It'd be so funny. All right. Well, I have a weird sense of humor. So, but if you
It's
find cheese on your
yeah,
windshield, it was not
we know
me.
who did it. We know who did it.
I didn't do it. All right. You guys have a blessed day.
We'll
Good thing
gift
I
you
have
with
Matt
it.
to
We'll
keep
gift you
me.
back with it. We'll gift you back with it. Connie, did you put this cheese on my windshield? I
It's
love
cheese.
you.
It's cheese this week. It might be something better next week.
Oh
Don't
my.
don't despise small
Help us,
beginnings,
Lord.
Ellen.
Help us, Lord.
All I know is black people
Lord,
wouldn't do
discourage her
that.
from creating that way.
Did you say black people would do that?
I said black people would not do that.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Normal people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but people who love life and have a lot of fun and just want to watch people freak out when they see a piece of cheese on their windshield. I just think it's hilarious. There's worse things I could have put, right? All right. You can have a lot of fun with one pack of cheese from Walmart. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, making grilled cheese.
Imagine me as a child. Imagine me as a child. I'm this ornery as an adult.
There's no difference.
No difference. I haven't grown up at all, he says. He loves it. That's why he married me. All right. I
Bless
love
you.
you guys.